Good morning, Euphoria Barbershop. Good morning this morning. Al Henny's, Danny Sharp Cuts. Good morning. Joey B, your stylist. Chivalry, bam, 99 and 20 others. Uppercuts, Pomona, Not Defeated. Jose Ignacio, Zeus Cuts. Mr. Golden Hands, Champs Barbers, Tijeras. King Reese, Champs Barbers. This thing just straight jumped. 88 others joined. It should be popping in a second. 48 others just joined. Ricky Rakan, aka Saint, Beard Gang. Let's get it. This guy, guys, this is skipping really quick. So, thank you so much. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. The Hair Taylor, Joshua Hunt, and 48 others. The Guard, the Cave Grooming, D-Lo Cuts, Tonsorial Artists, Fresh Barber 5, and the Premier Barber Institute crew. What's happening? Nola Hair Gallery, Glass Cuts, Elaine Carter, and 32, LL Cool Fade, the Dope Day Maker, my people down in DC, what's happening? And Cadillac Barber, thank you for coming to the class. I really appreciate you. Swish Cuts and 22 others. Guys, thank you so much. We are already at 102. Don't forget to hit the share button at the bottom and just get some people on this live feed. I'm excited. I just left Hair Palooza. I'm at the airport, so I'm not going to be as loud as I normally am. But I just went to Hair Palooza down here in San Antonio, and I'm going to share something with you guys. This is an amazing event. If you are into entertainment, it is an entertaining event. It is a lifestyle event. They had tattoo rooms. They had body paint showcases. They had oh my gosh, dancers. Michael Jackson showed up. I mean, he came back from the dead and killed the stage. It was just so much going on. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you all the different things. It's really a lifestyle event. And one thing I gathered from that is that they highlight the individuals in our beauty industry and the barbering industry. It wasn't just about barbering and cutting. That was a really small piece of it. The word Palooza means party, and Hair Palooza was a big party where people had fun. It was absolutely amazing. Lisi Lady Barber and Rico the Barber, man, they did an amazing job. They've been doing the show since 2012. So just, you know, I'm telling you, look, right there, Jeremy the Boss, it looked like it was an amazing event. I'm telling you, it was incredible. All kind of things happening all over the building. It's a huge building. It's like a club, but it's like an old, man, it's just high ceilings. It's just plenty of rooms in different spaces. It was phenomenal. I had an amazing time. You know, it is a place that I think you should come and visit. I know they did one in Vegas. They're thinking about doing one in Miami. But here in San Antonio, that Hair Palooza, it was packed. I believe there was maybe 1,400 tickets pre-sold, and then people were just lined up at the door to get in. They do also, what most people don't know is they do continued education classes. So it's a great way to get your CEUs if you're an instructor while you're down here in San Antonio, and then go to the event and have an amazing time. It was phenomenal. I absolutely loved it. The response from people, and then I did a private class. Private class was really cool. Wanted to highlight a few things here before we get started. This was, I thought, was pretty cool. I cut them, said we should charge double if they're during Tyrik Talks Tuesdays. So I really liked it. I thought that was hilarious. You know, one of the things that was really funny about that. So, you know, I do my little like minute and stuff, and so I really wanted to put IP Cut'em said that we should charge more if the haircut is during Tyrik Talks Tuesday. So little barber humor this morning. Thank you so much. I do want to highlight my guy Credit Carl. If your credit starts with a 7 or an 8, it's time to get business funding, or what I call free cash. And what Credit Carl is talking about is leveraging that credit that you have with the different companies and using OPM. OPM is other people's money. I teach a class on other people's money, other people's time, and other people's efforts. And so one of the things that Credit Carl is talking about here is if your credit score is at a 7 or 8, it is now time for you to start leveraging that, use other people's money to invest in you so that you can kind of do the things that you want to do in your career. So thank you, Credit Carl, for those gems that you drop on a regular basis. If you're not following Credit Carl, please do. Phenomenal information that he's given to not just to the industry, but a lot of barbers aren't hip on credit, finances, the importance of finance, and how you can maximize that using other people's money so you can invest and grow your business. It's about growing your business. So absolutely love what Credit Carl's doing. And then one of my favorite, I'm going to put this up, face adversity with courage. I'm going to highlight this because I think it's extremely important. This is my friend, she's the barber, Felicia Goins. I don't know if many people have known, but last week she made an announcement on the platform that she was raped by an influential person in the industry. And I think it's very sensitive when you find someone, taking advantage of our women in the industry. It's really, really important that we respect one another, appreciate one another, uplift and admonish one another. And in this case, someone took advantage of her in the industry, and she kind of shared it. She really didn't go into who or how, but she definitely said that she was raped. And so go and encourage her. It takes a lot of courage to just step up, stand out, and just share your story with people. There are a lot of people who are going and battling with different things, and she had enough courage to step up and share with everyone what she experienced and how, guys, we gotta do better. We have to do better than that. And I just wanted to encourage my sister. And if you know anyone facing something like that, please encourage them. Her name is She's the Barber. It's just all one word, She's the Barber. Phenomenal. Her real name is Felicia. It took a lot of courage to step up in front of a crowd of her peers and talk about the industry and how she was taken advantage of. And so I just wanted to highlight that. I think it just takes a tremendous amount of courage to just step up. Thank you, Sharp Life, for putting that up. Let me just tap that real quick, pin the comment. So, Sharp Life said She's the Barber. That is her Instagram handle. And, guys, look, we have to do so much better than that. I remember in 2003 when I had hired Jenny. Jenny was the first female barber in the shop. And, when she was at the barbershop, she was the only female in town that worked at a barbershop. And so there's nothing but men. We're in a male-dominated industry. And what we can't do is we can't put our women at risk and hurt them and put them in an uncomfortable position. So I'm just extremely proud of her. I love what you're doing. Keep doing your thing. And thank you, Sharp, for being able to let me know that that's what it was. So, She's the Barber. Yes, we have to protect our females. Guys, do me a favor. If you know someone, just reach out to them and encourage them. If you know her, reach out to encourage her. You can share this right now if you like. I'm cool. It doesn't matter to me. But yes, we have to protect our females, especially in an industry where men are so-called dominated. It's not cool. It's not cool. And when you have someone who is trying, who is hungry, we don't need to take advantage of them and put them out there. We just need to continue to encourage them, build them up, and show them that they're just as important as everyone else in the industry. So, Fee, I love you. Thank you so much for just sharing your story and just being able to get through that healing process. You just never know what different people are going through. So, guys, share this message. Let people know that this is happening in our industry, and it's got to stop. It's got to stop. This right here is not cool. Yeah, I wish I was there to actually witness it myself, but maybe next year. So that's for Chris Cuts. Thank you so much. Now I want to get into my live feed. So that was my little little minute that I kind of do before my feed, and I want to put this up because I said, "You waiting?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "How long you been waiting?" He said, "About 15 minutes." And one of the barbers was outside smoking a cigarette. I walked out front. I said, "Hey, Will." He said, "Yeah, I got an appointment coming." I was like, "Yeah, when?" And he was like, "Oh, he'll be here in like 10 minutes. I said, "The guy been sitting there 15 minutes already. That's a problem. You could have cut him by now." I cut the guy's hair in 10, 15 minutes. Told him the haircut was free of charge. Sorry for the inconvenience. He was like, "Seriously?" I said, "Yeah, Will paid for it." So when Will came in the barbershop, I said, "Yo, you owe me $40. He said, "For what?" I said, "Because I just cut somebody's hair. That was on you." He said, Nah, what? I said, "He waited 15 minutes. You said you had another appointment coming in about 10 minutes. Do the math. I finished him before you finished your cigarette. I'm $40 a half hour. You owe me $40. I said, "If you don't pay me $40, you can go home. And then I'll cut the rest of your appointments for the rest of the day." Crazy, man. And gave me his $40. You could have cut that guy. That was a potential customer that either going to leave and tell 10 people not to show up, or he's going to tell 10 people to come because he had a great experience. So I wanted to play that video just to kind of start off my live feed because there was over 10,000 views of that video. There was over 540 something comments of that video last time I checked. And I definitely appreciate the comments. Guys, hit the share button. Let's get it going so we can get more people in here. But basically what happened was I had shared that video because I was talking to Cordero. He came down and shadowed me for 2 days. We had a great time. And there was a lot of people who were like, Tyrik, oh, that is so amazing. That was great. That's what's up. You know, boss up, blah, blah, blah. And so a high percentage of people that were approving of the video and what they said. Now, remember, they only saw a 60-second clip. They were excited about it because those are the owners that have experienced it. Those are the barbers who have a busy schedule, but they also feel the pressure with people sitting there waiting. So they also felt that pressure. And so those were the people who were in agreement. The people who really didn't agree with it were the people who are the ones taking the cigarette breaks, that are doing what they think they can do because they're a subcontractor and it doesn't matter what they do. It's those people that didn't like it. I had a couple different things, and let me share something with you. I'm extremely empathetic and appreciative of all of the people who support Tyrik Talk Tuesdays, who share it, who are commenting. You guys see, I respond back. I'm in the DMs. I'm commenting back, and I appreciate your time for commenting and sharing your thoughts and sharing it with people. I really do. I also understand that some people don't get it, and it's okay. I'm not mad when they attack me and when they say stuff like, one guy said, "Oh, that was a bitch move," and I was like, "How? Like, you know, what does that mean?" He said you're a bitch for that one, and I was like, "Well, you can call me whatever you want, however," and then I just kind of gave him some perspective. You know, and then another guy said, well, you can come get these $40. Like, let me share something with you. I am not fighting with nobody in my shop. You can just leave. It's that simple. And so I got a question for you guys, because I'm going to tell you the whole story, but I got a question for you. Is the dog wagging the tail, or is the tail wagging the dog? So let me tell you exactly what did happen. My manager, thanks guys for sharing. We got 176 people on here. My manager, so continue to hit the share button. My manager had called me up. His name was Eddie at the time. He said, hey, boss man. He called me Hefe, actually. He was like, hey, Hef, we had a little small meeting down here. I'm having guys who aren't really, you know, they're taking long breaks. They're going out smoking cigarettes. We got clients here. We need to get a grip on this, because some of us are busy and these guys are letting these walk-ins wait a long time. It's affecting the business. And so I left the school one day and I sat down. The client had no idea that I was the owner. He had no idea that I ran the shop or that I was even a hair cutter. We're gonna talk about them subcontractors in a minute. So so I sat down, and when I was talking to the guy, he says, he was waiting on a haircut. I went outside and I said, hey, are you cutting? He was like, yeah, I got about 10, 15 minutes. So I looked up the street, because we were on a corner. I looked up the street, I looked down the street, I looked down this way, I looked down that way, up that way, and I was like, I don't see anybody coming. And he was like, oh no, he'll be here in a little bit. And I was like, oh, okay, I got you. He's like, all right, cool, boss man. I said, I got it, don't worry. Now, he didn't know what I had in mind. I went into the shop, I cut at his station, I used his tools. I cut the client. When I was done with the client, I said it was about 10, 15 minutes, I knocked him out. And it really was about 15 minutes. He finished his cigarette, went across the street, got something to drink from the store. When he was coming back, I told the client, don't worry about it, Will took care of it. So when the client got up, he started walking out the door. Will was coming in the shop. He said, thanks, Will. Will said, no problem. Will had no idea. Now, what I didn't do, and what some people were thinking, was that I embarrassed the barber. I never embarrassed the barber. I actually took him to the side. I had a conversation with him. I said, you owe me $40. And then I gave him some perspective. I said, listen, that client, the most important part about that entire moment was not that a client was waiting 15 minutes. It's the nature and what was happening. More importantly, what experience is he leaving with? So what I did was I took control of the situation as an owner. I wasn't bossing up. I wasn't enforcing muscle or flexing on anybody because I could. I'm controlling my business. I wasn't allowing the tail to wag the dog. You understand what I'm saying? The business is the dog. The barber's in there, you might be the tail, but you're not gonna run the barbershop. It's not gonna happen that way. And so what we did was, We sat down, we had a conversation, and I said simply to him, I said, did you guys not have a meeting about this? He's like, yeah. And then he came up with all the questions. Well, what if I'm late on my appointment? And what if his appointment never showed up? Never. He didn't show up while I was there. He didn't show up or anything after that. The barber actually said it was a good lesson learned. He learned from that experience. He stayed with us for about another 9 months. He got dismissed from the business due to unrelated issues, and it was time for him to go. But he definitely learned a lesson that day that changed the atmosphere in the shop. The guys understood how important it was to make sure the client, and the biggest thing about that story, let's talk about the customer. The customer who came in for his first time ever being in a shop, not knowing, he's not a repeat customer. He wasn't somebody who comes in all the time that was told. I get it. You're told that you got to wait time if you don't have an appointment. That's a little bit different. But this was a new customer, and his experience that day was this. I sat down for about 10, 15 minutes. The owner ended up taking care of me. Not only that, he gave me a free haircut because of the wait time. He also told me in order to eliminate my wait time, we also go by appointments. You can schedule an appointment with one of our barbers, then it would eliminate the wait time. He left with a happy haircut, and he told him thank you. So now this customer is going to go out. He's going to tell 1, 2, 3, maybe 10 people. But if he had a bad experience, he's going to go and leave and say, hey, that was terrible. I sat there forever. The guys was outside smoking cigarettes. Nobody even spoke to me. There was a lot of little things that could have happened and went the wrong way. So, Frank the barber says, I don't do appointments. It don't take me 30 minutes to do a haircut. I started at 9 and cut 3 people already. Yeah, I feel you, and I don't have a problem with what some of the people are doing if you are appointment barber or you're not. It is 2019. A lot of times people have a lot of stuff to do now. Our life is moving very, very fast, and it's important to cater to our audience. If a client comes in and says, do you take appointments? I think that the market is telling you that you need to take appointments. If a client comes in and says, do you take credit cards? I think the market is telling you you need to take credit cards. If the market comes in and says, hey, I need to know if I can, I don't know, if you do early appointments, whatever the case may be, the market is telling you that there's a need. If you're listening to what the market is saying, trust the market, follow that, go ahead and do it. That's extremely important. So the question earlier that was posed was, is the tail wagging the dog, or is the dog wagging the tail? What valuable lessons were learned in this situation? I think for the barber, it's important to take care of the customer. The customer is extremely important. They're the ones that put the food on your table. Now, I'm not saying that your customers should run your business. That's not what I'm saying. But if the market is sharing an idea about something that they're interested in, maybe you should cater your business to feed the market, because that's going to bring you a return. More people are going to come. Oh, they accept cards over there. Oh, they accept appointments over there. That will help your business. If your business has always been a walk-in model and people are used to it, then the culture and that market understands and respects that. So they already know, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to wait for 2 hours, I'm going to wait for 15 minutes. I don't know. Your economy and my economy is different, but I'm also paying attention to the market, the need of the customer when they walk into the barbershop. So, I didn't need to flex on him. That wasn't the case. I wasn't disrespecting him. I didn't embarrass him in front of any other barbers. I didn't do any of that stuff. And with today's day and age, we're using social media to market us. How are we putting that information out there? What are we doing to get people to come into our business? How are we using social media to market that? And then when they come in, they get a bad experience. Listen, I've been doing this social media strategy seminar on steroids. It's a webinar actually, and people are like, oh my God, I've implemented your tools, and Tyrik, my business has grown in the last 6 months. My business has grown. So we've been doing this webinar, Effects and myself. If you're interested in the webinar, it's going down February the 10th. We're going to do another one February the 10th. It is a social media strategies seminar. It's going to help you to market your business on another level. Please do me a favor. Put a 1 in the comments so that we can make sure that you get a link so you can join that webinar. We had 200 and something people on our first 2 free ones, and then we had about 50, 60, something like that on the last one we did. So we're going to do it again. Yes, pay it forward. We're going to do it again. If you're interested in social media strategies, just put a 1 in there. We appreciate you. For some of you, we've been sending you the links. If you didn't sign up, just make sure you do so that way, because it is limited seating. And I promise you, people's responses were, oh my gosh, this is absolutely amazing. It's already working. I just sat down with a group yesterday and went over it with them private in a private class. And when I did that with them, immediately, 20 minutes later, they looked and said, oh my God, Tyrik, it's already working. So just make sure that if you're interested in that, put the number 1. We'll send you the link. You'll check it out. Someone says, how much is it? You know, I got to ask you, how important is it to you? Is it going to create revenue? Is it going to create a return on the investment? I'm not really concerned about the money. Just like when people ask me, what is the percentage for PayPal? I don't care about the PayPal. I don't care about what PayPal's percentage is. It doesn't matter to me. They're helping me run my business more effectively. They're giving me spreadsheets. They give me a 1099. I'm able to use their services and at a small cost. So I'm extremely excited. And I don't care about 0 + 1 = 1. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, you know, it's important that in our business, if we're using social media to market ourselves, if we are doing things, here's the other thing. I'm going to give you a promo code. The promo code is TTT23. TTT23, that's going to give you $25 off. Listen, that promo code will be over tomorrow. Tomorrow is the 23rd. So on the 23rd, it will be over. So if you're interested in the webinar, make sure you set us the one. Listen, Sheeta the barber was on there. She said it's definitely worth the cost. So just make sure that if you're interested in that, I'm going to move on though. But when you're marketing to your people and you're bringing people back to your business, it's important. He says, I like the shirt. You can swipe up to get the shirt. I have these in my stories as well. If you're interested, thank you. So if you're marketing to people and you're trying to bring people back to your business, it's important that when they come with the right experience. You have to be prepared for when that influx of people come in. You cannot, in no way, shape, or form, push people out because you're bringing people in and then people end up leaving by force because there's no one to accommodate them. You have to make sure that your page is appealing. You have to make sure that what you're putting out there is appealing. And then when people come in, they're getting exactly what they see. You know, one of the things that happens to me all the time when I meet, people were sitting to me and they're saying, hey, you know, Tyrik, you're exactly who I thought you was, man. I watch you on Instagram, and when I meet you in person, you're exactly who you are. You're not like some of these other guys. You respond to the DMs, you comment back, you talk, and then when I meet you in person, you're exactly who you were. Someone just said to me this week, and you know, Tyrik, one of the things I like the way you do is you do it with kindness. And that really touched me because I don't know what people's responses are usually. And she was just like, actually it was Lisa Lady Barber. She said, Tyrik, one of the things I like is the way you address people's comments and the way you talk to people, even in the classroom. If someone has a question and the way they rebut you, or even if they just have a question, you want to help them. It's so kind. You're not like forceful with it, and you're not yelling at them. You're really, your spirit is so kind, and you can tell that you're really in a place of wanting to help. And it's really, listen, I'm not asking for compensation. I'm giving you this free 99 game every week. And so, you know, it's really important to understand that in your business, you have to be tactful when addressing issues. You have to be tactful even before an issue starts. How are you prepared to handle a situation when it does happen? My class yesterday on igniting potential was awesome. It was a 3-hour class. I also did a cutting portion of that class. A lot of people said that it was absolutely worth the money, and it was different than most classes that they go to. So a lot of times when you're having, back to the issue with Will in the shop, a lot of times barbers don't have situational awareness. Situational awareness is really, really key. When I'm trying to do something, establish something, create something, I need to have situational awareness. What's going on? Yes. What's going on with my surroundings? I got to think about this situation. For example, you know, guys are guys. You're going to be in there. You're going to be having a good conversation about something maybe that happened, whenever. But then a lady walks in the shop. Someone who understands situational awareness is going to gear the conversation and switch it because they want to be careful for the woman or the child that's in the barbershop. Situational awareness. or it's very busy. It's a busy weekend. If you know that it's going to be a busy weekend, did you prepare for the busy weekend? Like, did you have breakfast or take a snack so that way you don't have to stop and leave the barbershop or take a break that puts everybody, uncomfortable, because now they're all kind of feel like, man, 2 people left for lunch. There's 6 people sitting here. What am I going to do? And situational awareness is so important. Just being strategic and having a strategic plan. If you know it's going to be a slow week, okay, then maybe you can just go to lunch that day or whatever. But if it's going to be a busy day, have you prepared for that busy day? Have you prepared your guys mentally ahead of time? Hey, guys, it's going to be a busy weekend. Make sure that you get something to eat, that you're prepared, because when it gets busy, we don't want to leave people and then everyone feels uncomfortable. I hated being the guy who was already booked with appointments, and then when people would go to lunch, I felt the pressure of having to take care of the walk-in who was sitting there. And it's not that, oh, I'm an appointment barber and I can't take you. No, that's not it. I want to help that person, give them the experience, and then share with them, hey, to eliminate the wait time, this is how we do business. Unfortunately, somebody went to lunch. We need to be tactful in our approach to how we handle these types of situations when it comes to our business. Guys, if you like this information, hit the little share button so we can get some people on here. I'm sure a lot of you barbers who are in the shop and are busy and have appointments, you can relate to that. I'm sure a lot of owners who are in the shop and are very busy, they can also relate to that. The problem is the old customer may understand this is appointment shop. They already are aware of the wait time. They know exactly what's going to happen. They understand that it's important to make sure that whatever it is that you're doing, you go ahead and continue to do your business. They know that. But the new guy that comes in, he doesn't know how your business operates or functions. No one has taught him that. It's his first time in there. We need to make sure that it's clear to them that we want to accommodate that person. We want to help that person. And at the same time, we want to be able to provide them with a good service and give them the understanding that this is how we run business. Situational awareness is so important, so we can make sure whatever the case may be. I had a barber, his name was Doug. He was really good with situational awareness. He would be talking about maybe a situation he did. He met a girl at the club, and he'd be in the barbershop. We talking, and somebody would walk in, and when that person would walk in, he'd be in the middle of the conversation. Yeah, she was bad, and this is what happened. And then a girl would walk in and say, yeah. And so when I got home, right, I was mad because we lost the football game. And he would just switch the conversation real quick. Someone who wasn't paying attention to situational awareness would be like, what happened? But us, the rest of us who knew exactly what happened, we went right with the conversation. Yeah, that was a tough loss, man. You know what I mean? You shouldn't put no money. And we just went with the flow. And it was important because we want to protect the people that are in there. We want to protect their ears. We want to make sure that the children aren't hearing things that are inappropriate. We want to make sure that the women that are in there aren't hearing things that are inappropriate. And again, you may not know who's sitting in your chair. You might have a pastor. You may have the superintendent of the schools. And they're listening to your conversation. You need to be mindful and have situational awareness. But I'm telling you, Doug was so funny. And he would have the most amazing, I probably could do a Tyrik Talk Tuesday every week for the next 2 years just on Doug alone. I learned so much. He prepared me to be a better owner dealing with him, but and I get it. We have our private conversations and no one's in the shop, but you have to be understanding of the situation around you. Situational awareness is so key. So many people don't have situational awareness, so they can't be tactful. They don't know how, and they just kind of go with the flow. And it's like, man, I had a guy, I said something to him like, hey, could you watch it? And he was just like, ain't no kids in here, man. We all adults. And I said, it's offensive to me. And he was like, oh, my bad. Cool. I had a barber the other day who used a derogatory term towards homosexuality, and one of the other barbers was like, hey, that's a very uncomfortable term. It's derogatory, whether you believe in it or not, or whether you support it or respect it or not. It's derogatory and it's offensive. I think you should be mindful of what you say, because you don't know, one of my clients might be homosexual, or maybe I have an uncle that I absolutely love that's homosexual, and you need to be careful and mindful of that because it's offensive to me. And the barber was like, you know what? I respect that, and I like it, because then the barber also said, you're a strong, devout Christian. You wouldn't want me to be offensive towards your beliefs in Christianity, would you? And whether it's truth or not, you wouldn't want me to be offensive to you because it's your strong belief, and what I believe may not be what you believe, but I wouldn't be offensive to you. And so just, respect my position, and please try to be tactful in what you say, because the derogatory term is very offensive. And we got to be tactful. Listen, people can be very sensitive, but some people can be very insensitive. And it's really, really, really important to have situational awareness. Just be tactful in what you're doing. Be respectful to the people who are around you. I think the most important thing is that we respect one another, that we respect each other, and that we give our customers an ultimate experience. I'm not talking about all the other bells and whistles. I'm just talking about basic, fundamental. Somebody's wait time, not understanding where their position is, no one really communicating with that person to give them that experience or a full understanding of their business. I think it's really important that we do that. Credit Carl, thanks for joining. I did my Credit Carl minute earlier today, so I hope you got a chance to check that out. So, absolutely, I Be Alive. It is in the textbook, and I think so many people fall away from just basic fundamentals. From just fundamental things that help to really create the energy that the barbershop gives off to our community. I saw a video where there's a guy who gives discounted cuts to kids who read to him while he's in a chair. I think it's a phenomenal idea. Phenomenal idea. Do you think people are in there cussing while this little boy's reading? Probably not. You think the music is blasting F the police while this little kid is reading? Probably not. We have to be tactful and mindful in how we run our business, and make sure that it's the dog wagging the tail and not the tail wagging the dog. Take ownership of your business, guys. Stop allowing the business to manage you. That's a profound statement, because a lot of times we start business because we want to be able to be in a place where we run our own business. We're creating experience. This business is so that we can free ourselves up, and we end up working harder for the business. And so what happens is, in some cases, that the business begins to manage you. It manages your schedule, it manages your lifestyle. And we need a certain level of responsibility that helps manage our time, accountability for our business. That's why starting a business, I mentioned last week about putting your back up against the wall. Starting your business will put your back up against the wall, and you will have to work for it and fight for it. But when you have barbers that are running your shop and telling you what you should be doing, the biggest problem, I think, when it comes to booth rental is that the mindset that they're teaching these young barbers is that you can be your own boss. And I apologize, guys, that is not the way it is. You might be a 1099, you might be a subcontractor, but if you are a contractor and you fix toilets or fix bathrooms, and I hire you to fix my bathroom, I'm in charge still. You're the person doing the work, I'm in charge. You can come to my house between the hours of 8 and 6. It's gonna take you 2 weeks to get it done. I need it done by 2 weeks. I am hiring you as a subcontractor to do a job. Yes, you might have to have your own insurance. Yes, you can go to the supply house as many times as you want. You can take as many breaks as you want. But in 2 weeks, it better be done, and you're in my house between 9 and 6, or whatever the time I just mentioned. You are a subcontractor working for me. If you are a barber that is working at a barbershop, you have the wrong mindset. If you think you can do whatever you want in that business, that is not the case. If you can do whatever you want, then my advice to you is go and open your own suite. Go and open your own barbershop. You don't got to answer to nobody. And I'm going to promise you this. You are unemployed until somebody walks into the barbershop and gets a haircut. So respect the spot that you work at. Respect the rules of the barbershop. If the shop doesn't have rules, they need to have rules. If you're a shop owner and you don't have rules for your staff, then you need to put some rules in place. If you want some rules, download the Tyrik Jackson app. There's some free rules on there that'll be a nice template for you to just start with, and you can build from that. Guys, it is extremely, extremely important that you understand this mindset. Here's the biggest thing. Let me give you a little perspective. I use it all the time. The mall is a land of property that every single store in the mall is subcontracted to the mall. So Macy's, Neiman Marcus, Lord & Taylor, Boscov's, you name it, all those little stores, they are subcontracted inside of the mall. So they have their own business within the mall. The mall has rules. If you open late, the mall fines you. If you close late, the mall fines you, unless you work out an agreement with the mall. In some cases, you work out an agreement with the mall and the mall says you can open up early, no problem, then that's what happens. But I promise you, if you do anything else, and a lot of times the mall wants a percentage of your total sales. So how does that work when you have to abide by mall rules as you as an owner, where you can't be open till 1 o'clock, 2 in the morning, the mall closes at 10 o'clock. You gotta be closed. The other thing, you gotta be open up 7 days a week. You have to follow the mall rules. It's extremely important. You are not your own business inside of somebody's barbershop. You may have a business, you may be an LLC, you might have your own proprietary name, you might be branding yourself on social media as the barber guru. Hopefully that's nobody's name. I'm not trying to pick on anybody in particular, but that might be your name and you might be branding yourself in that business, but that business has rules. You got to be open on time. You got to leave on time. It's going to be a busy weekend. You got to pay rent. You got to, or percentage, whatever the case may be. There are people that pay percentage but are subcontractors. There are people that pay booth rent that are subcontractors. You're a subcontractor. You are working in somebody else's business. I promise you, you need to abide by the rules of that business. It is not your place to say, I'm my own boss, I can do whatever I want. If that's your mentality, then open your own place and do whatever you want. Stop trying to control the business by saying, I'm gonna do whatever I want. Coming in high, leaving early, leaving late, taking long breaks. We got a business to run. And listen, if it's your business, you have a business to run. Don't allow these barbers to hold you hostage. People want to leave, let them leave. If you can't abide by the rules, there go the dough. You can go. It's important. Most people aren't really focusing on that. They're just, they're just like, well, I need this person to pay the chair rent. They're holding you hostage. Well, I can't find real good barbers, Tyrik. Then you need to go find them. You need to go and volunteer at the school. Make time for it. And here's the deal. Someone asked me yesterday in the seminar, they said, hey, Tyrik, if I tried to go down to the barber school, I tried to connect with different schools to connect with their barbers, but they won't let me come in. And it's because you're asking the wrong question. Let me help you out. If you go down to the school and you say, hey, I want to come down and do a demonstration, they're going to say, no, we have instructors. And they think they got to pay you. And they think you're going to give them information that's not going to be good for their students. So they'll say no. But if you go to the campus director and you say, hey, I have an opportunity to hire your students. The school needs job placement. We would love to be a resource for job placement for your school. Oh, well, tell me more. Well, we have several locations. I'm opening another location. We would like to hire your students when they graduate. Is that something you're interested in? Oh, yeah, we need job placement. Awesome. I would like the opportunity to come down and volunteer my time once a month, once every 2 weeks. I'm off every Wednesday. Let's start once a month. Let's build a relationship. If you like what I'm offering to the students and you get positive student feedback, I'd love to come down a little more often. I'd like to establish a relationship with you so we can hire your students and help your placement rate. That's what the campus director wants to hear. When you go in there and be like, yeah, I own a shop and I want to come do demonstrations, because I'm a dope barber. They don't want to hear that. That's not what they want to hear. You got to find the need of the school. The need of the school is graduation rate, so they got to teach theory and get students completed. They got to have a sort of completion rate. Then they have to have a state licensure rate, and then once they have a state licensure rate, they need job placement. How can you get people to stay graduate? If I'm here and I get them motivated and can guarantee them a job, they'll probably stay so they can finish. If I come in and I volunteer, I can also help encourage them the importance of making sure they got a license, because I need to hire people who are licensed. If I come and volunteer my time, when they come in here, they're gonna know that they have a spot that's guaranteed for them to work when they're completed from school. This is exactly how you get people to come to the school and how you get people from a school by going and volunteering time. It's not like, oh, well, Tyrik, I went down there and they won't let me. No, because you didn't ask the right question. Find the need of the school. You're going there with your need. I need to hire people. Okay, that's cool. I want to come and do a demo. And here's usually what happens. The barber comes in, I want to come do a demo because the students graduating from here are whack and they need help. Well, that's offensive. That's not going to help. The teacher probably heard it because the student probably shared that with the teacher. So when the campus director goes to the teacher and says, hey, that guy came by, do you know him? Oh yeah, he doesn't like us. He says we don't know what we're doing. Okay, cool, no callback. Now you're not down there volunteering time. You can't be offensive to the educators that are teaching the barbers, but then you can't complain if the students aren't smart enough to do the job or skilled enough or prepared enough. You got to go down there and serve and listen, get your way in the door, encourage them, find the need of the school. And if you find the need of the school, then you're able to build that relationship. And once you build that relationship with them, then you can start hiring people. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. It's very, very difficult. So, I just wanted you guys to understand that it's not the tail wagging the dog. It's the dog wagging the tail. Control your business, manage your business. Don't allow these barbers to take advantage of you. Don't allow them to hold you hostage. It's not a fear situation like if you don't listen, I'm gonna fire you. It's not about flexing your muscles, but it's about having a clear vision, making sure that that vision is interpreted and understood to them correctly, that they understand it, so that way they can deliver and follow with the vision that you have for your business. They need to follow your vision. They need to be a part of what you're trying to do for your business. Don't allow these barbers to hold you hostage and control your business. If they think that they can do it by themselves or they're their own boss, then let them go ahead and make their own business and start their own business. I guarantee you they'll be calling you and apologizing later on. I guarantee you they're going to be thinking, holy smokes, this was harder than I thought. I guarantee you they're going to either come back and say, wow, you really prepared me, or my bad. So I promise you, don't allow the tail to wag the dog. It should be the dog wagging the tail. There's a whole lot of businesses that the tail's wagging the dog. There's no good management. There's no rules in place. There's no standard operational procedures. There's no situational awareness. And a lot of people aren't prepared to own a shop. I'm not saying everybody needs to be a shop owner. There's different levels of people they're going to be with. We need the people who just want to work. I get it. We need people who want to manage. We need people who want to be owners. We all have our place, but it's making sure that people are in the right place and they understand. They understand the live feed. They understand that in this live feed, what I'm sharing with you is going to be information that's going to help them become better at what they need to do for your business and for themselves. Absolutely, Mr. Haywood Styles, Haywood Watkins, I love you, man. Long time, long relationship. He did one of my very first photo shoots out of Virginia. He says they will respect you more. Absolutely. If you are loving them, encouraging them, teaching them, chastising them, they'll get it. And when they do, I remember Manny Blessed Hands, Blessed Cuts TV or something like that. Manny, he used to work at the shop. We had something where I had a contract at the time, and he said he refused to sign. And he was a good barber, a great barber. He was excellent. He was on time. He did what he had to do. And I was just trying to secure my business, and he left. A couple years later, I saw him. He said, you know what, I really appreciate everything. I now understand what you were trying to do. I didn't get it then, but I get it now. Guys, you have to understand that it's really, really important, that your business is important to you. It provides for your family. And don't let your business run you. You should be running and managing your business effectively. I want to go over some of the questions that came in. So let's hit some of them. Also, I have on my app, not only on my app is there downloadable free tools for you with rules, regulations. There's a budget spreadsheet for barbers who need to manage their money a little bit more effectively. Booth rent, there's a percentage breakdown spreadsheet that you can put your money in there to see how much money you're making. You can save it. It's going to help you in managing your finances. The other thing is, if you like these live talks, there is over 50, 60 videos, 50, 60 hours of live feed on there, and there are particular topics, particular subjects that I've been covering all year long. I had someone yesterday, April, said to me, she goes, Tyrik, I do not know how you are able to come up every week with something new, and it's always really, really good. So I definitely appreciate that. You can download the Tyrik Jackson app. It's in the App Store. It has, so you can watch my live feed for free $99. You can subscribe for $5. Thank you so much. The app is free to download. It is free. Let me go over some of these questions here that did come in. this one right here. It says, should I or should I not work in a shop while I'm going to barber school? Excellent question for this barber. I recommend any barber who is in barber school not to work in a barber shop until about 2 months before you graduated. Now, what I would suggest to you is this, is that when you're working at a school, I would say go and build a relationship with a barbershop. That would be very, very important. If you go and build a relationship with a barbershop, that's extremely important, because while you are working on building that relationship with the shop, you're understanding their protocol, you're learning the culture in that shop, you're understanding what the clients are, you're beginning to learn names, so now you're a familiar face, so that way when you begin to work in that shop, go and assist, go help out. But I wouldn't recommend going and cutting, because it's going to mess you up in a way when it comes to school, because then it's like, man, I'm doing this all day long. I could be at the shop making money, and if you don't have that type of self-control, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to get through that process. So thank you, Jeremy, for that question. This one comes from Ben RC. He says, what opportunities has IG opened? What opportunities have opened up because of IG? Guys, Instagram right now has more users on it daily than Facebook. It's much larger than Facebook. I'm able to answer questions live on here. I'm able to do video content. I'm connecting with people all over the world. It has created a tremendous amount of opportunities. What you guys are seeing me do, I have been doing since 1998. It's only because of social media and technology that I'm able to show it and people can see it. So it's created a bunch of opportunities. For some people, it's like, man, this guy came out of nowhere. For others, it's like, no, that guy's been doing that for a long, long time. I was following him back in the day when he was on MySpace, when he was in Solid Gold magazine. So Instagram has given me a much larger audience, has given me the opportunity to connect with different people. And it's important. It is now a part of my business. Guys, I'm at the airport right now, getting ready to take flight in about 15 minutes. I got to load up in about 15 minutes. And it's important to me to make sure that I go live every Tuesday on time. It's extremely important. It's part of my business, and I want to make sure that I'm providing you guys with quality content. This one right here, we have, I recently graduated from cosmetology school, but I enjoy barbering. The only exception between, I missed the rest of the question. Let me see real quick. The only exception between barber and she doesn't have like the rest of it, so I didn't get the rest of it. But if you're a Cosmo, I would advise you do a crossover and get your barbering skills. If you're a barber, I would advise that you do a crossover and get some cutting skills. You're gonna learn things in the cosmetology side of the business that's gonna help you in your barbering career and vice versa. I promise you that. I did both. I did cosmetology, did barbering, and early in my career, people were like, how are you creating these looks? Because I had a cosmetology background. How are you doing color? Because I had a cosmetology background. For some of you who, if you need the license to do it, then I would advise you do the crossover program and go back to school. If you don't need a license to do it, but you're already licensed in one of the two fields of the two state board, either barber or cos, then connect with a barber that you can grow from, that you can build with one another. You can learn barbering skills from him or her. And then if you're a barber, you can learn Cosmo skills from him or her. You know, there's so many talented people. Work together, network, build together, create opportunities, use social media to do it. And the guy who was asking is Instagram create a lot of stuff? Absolutely it has, and we're doing that social media strategies. And like I mentioned earlier, if you don't know what social media strategies on steroids is and you want to do it, you're interested in what it's going to do to help create more opportunities for you, grow your page, and I'm not talking about followers, but more engagement and build more money for your business, you need to download, hit the number 1 in the comments so we can send you a link so you can join our webinar. The code for that is TTT23. Somebody put that up real quick in the comments. TTT23 is the code, and it will expire tomorrow. We left it up all week. We had some signups for it. If you're interested in social media strategies, hit a number 1. We want to send you the link. TTT23 is the code for $25 off for our webinar. Guys, I appreciate you. I love you. Remember, serve your needs by serving the needs of others. It's not always about getting paid. It's about paying it forward. So we're paying it forward today. Obviously, you got to get paid in some cases. It's your time, it's your energy, it's what you're doing. but make sure that you're serving people's needs, man. Serve your needs by serving the needs of others first. Thanks for the info. I just realized one of the schools was wrong approach. Awesome. The school's wrong approach to me demonstrated and talk, but I should volunteer my time. Absolutely. Absolutely. If you find the need of the school, it'll make it so much easier. Your approach is different. And listen, stop talking bad about the schools. The schools are only bad because we're not doing anything about it. I opened up a school because there was no schools. I opened up a schools because I couldn't hire the right type of barbers, and I was training them when they came to the shop anyway. So why not open up a school and do it myself? You know, I did something about it. And so I'm hoping that this helps you. Ricky Rakan says, best webinar. Listen, Ricky, you stayed on both of them. You did the free one, you did the paid one twice. If I understand correctly, yeah. For the web workshop, Laz the Barber, what I want you to do is put a 1 in the comments. Eric and his team is going to be sending you DMs from my page right now to make sure that you can get the link for the webinar. There's 2 parts of the webinar. Let me share. One is you'll get all the free information. We're going to tell you the tools to use, what websites to download, and what apps to use to run your page. That's one. The other part of it is not only are you going to get all that, but we're also going to give you a 1-year subscription so that you can automate your Instagram for certain things that are really important to initiate engagement. And then the next thing that it does is you're going to get a 1-hour call to set your Instagram up and make sure you understand it, and then you can control that from your phone. Guys, I appreciate you. It sounds like I got to get going to get on this plane soon. Love you guys. Is there any more comments or questions? Look, PA Grooming says, trust me. Every person in there was like mind blown. Chivalry already did both fee and paid, already making a huge difference and an impact. Look, Chivalry was one on our webinar, and he said it's already making an impact. He did the free and the paid one. Yesenia, thank you so much. It was a pleasure meeting you this weekend. Safe travels to you as well. Do you know if any prep test, the instructor test theory? Here's my advice to you. If you want to be an instructor and you haven't instructed, and there's no schools to go to, and there's no material for you to download, I will go and talk to teachers and interview them and ask questions like, how do you deal with students with behavioral issues? How do you deal with students with mental issues? How do you deal with students when they're disruptive in class? Those are the types of questions that they're going to ask you on the state board exam. And I'm going to be doing a teaching webinar anyway that's going to be effective teaching. It's going to help you to not only pass and be prepared for your state exam to be an instructor, but to prepare you to be a better instructor. So that's one that Eric and I have been already discussing, but we want to do the social media strategies and get this out the way. What other comments do we have here? Do both free and, look, White's Barber Code said he did both free and the paid webinar. Jeremy, I appreciate you. Not Defeated, dope. The Yoda Bar, My Lady Master Educator book is one that you can get. We teach from that for our teacher program. It's very complex. And sometimes if you don't have someone teaching you the information, it can be challenging trying to understand some of it. But yes, that is one of them. My clientele has already boosted by 10, plus Instagram continues to grow daily. PA Grooming Specialist did our SMS webinar, and it's already growing, and it increased by 10 in about 2 weeks. It's only been like 3 weeks since we did that. So thank you guys. I appreciate you. Love you. Have an amazing day. Remember to pay it forward. Serve your needs by serving needs of others. Have a good one, man. I got a flight. I got to text Barbara Batty. I will be in Brooklyn this April for your private class. Yes, I will. $1 million info for free 99. Absolutely. Love you guys. Have a great day. And don't forget to check out White's Barber Co. and IBA Live. They go live. They're getting ready to go live in a little bit. They also have one on Wednesday, The Standard. Check them out. I love what they're doing, trying to change the culture in the industry in DC. They ain't calling me yet. Let me finish this statement. So one of the things that a guy in my class yesterday, seminar did, he said there's no big companies that's changing the culture of barbering. And he said, what do we got to do? And it's real simple. You got to make a difference in your community. You got to make a difference in your business. You got to make a difference in the area that you work. You got to make a difference in the schools that are putting students out. It's our responsibility to make the change. We can't wait for somebody else to make that change. You know, Chivalry has come down to our school and volunteered his time. He's got an employee as a result. Said it's the great investment he had by going down and just sharing a little bit of time. He's a great employee. He was a great student, and he got an employee by coming down and volunteering his time. See, as a school owner, for me, I don't care if someone comes in and wants to teach. If you're teaching the wrong thing, I'm gonna correct my students afterwards anyway. It's gonna be like chicken. Eat the meat, throw away the bone. Love you guys. Have an amazing day. See ya.